A warm welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, March 31. Act now to strengthen your healthcare system. The dire warning from the Director General of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Carissa Etienne, as she delivered an update on the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic during a virtual media briefing today. She disclosed that the outbreak in the Americas has intensified over the past week, with more than 163,000 confirmed cases and over 2,800 deaths. She warned the situation will get worse before it improves.
I cannot emphasize enough that countries must take urgent action to prepare hospitals and health facilities for what is coming. An influx of COVID-19 patients that will need hospital space, beds, health professionals, and medical equipment. Governments at the national and local levels should organize health systems based on the assumption that their areas will be affected. This virus has not and will not be stopped by borders drawn on maps.
Dr. Etienne stressed the need for countries to stick to the recommended protocols, especially social distancing, to curb the rate of infections.
Countries need also to decide what social distancing measures that they need to implement and how and for how long. These include cancellation of mass gatherings, school and business closures, teleworking, and voluntary or legally mandated stay-at-home measures. Such measures might seem drastic, but they are the only way to prevent hospitals from being overwhelmed by too many sick people in too short a period of time. Measures should be implemented as soon as possible after a determination of the transmission scenario. Based on the experience of countries in the regions other than the Americas, it seems prudent to plan for the implementation of measures for at least 2 to 3 months.
A regional economist predicts at worst, Barbados' tourism arrivals will collapse by 80% for 2020, and at best, they will register a 48% fall-off, resulting in a dramatic reduction in earnings for the country. Marla Dukaran provided the analysis in a detailed look at the impact of the new coronavirus on the economies of the region. Her sober assessment of the situation also assumes there will be no further cruise arrivals in the Caribbean for the rest of the year. In her COVID-19 Caribbean Economic Impact Report released yesterday, Dukaran revealed that with the World Tourism Travel Council reporting that over 47,000 Barbadian jobs directly and indirectly are dependent on tourism, the economic impact of the disease could be devastating. Dukaran's analysis of the economic effects of COVID-19 suggested tourism revenues could fall to as low as US $259 million based on an 80% reduction in arrivals. If there's a 48% reduction in arrivals, which is the best case, then tourism revenue could reach US $677 million. In 2019, Barbados generated US $1.30 billion from the tourism sector. All government day nurseries will close from tomorrow. Today, Director of the Childcare Board, Joan Crawford, explained that the move was necessary given the declining numbers of children attending the facilities. She, however, added that the board would continue to provide a place of safety for all children and urged parents and guardians not to leave their children unattended or in harm's way. Crawford said the board will make special arrangements for parents involved in essential services who find themselves in need of such daycare services. Stop the indiscriminate burning. That's the call from Chief Fire Officer Errol Maynard after personnel from the fire service were called out today to numerous grass fires, particularly in the parishes of St. John, St. Philip, and Christchurch. Maynard noted that while a number of people are at home from work during this time, some have asthma and other respiratory ailments and are therefore likely to be affected by the fire. He urged Barbadians to show more consideration for each other. Yesterday, we shared with you the COVID-19 challenge led by entertainers to spread positive messages aimed at curbing the spread of the virus. Well, the challenge has picked up much steam, and today government ministers joined in. Here's what Minister of the Blue Economy, Kurt Humphrey, and his colleague, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, had to say.
This is so serious, people. Barbados, this COVID-19 is no joke. So Michael South, take care. You know I love you. Take care of yourself. Corey World, call me out. My phone vibrates before the cock crow. Corey call me out for an extempo. That's excellent, except it exposed. The man call me out when I should stay home. Look, foolishness cannot be sense. You're playing big fashion at the expense. Distance yourself, stay home, sanitize. Together we can save each other's lives.
Sabadai, dee 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 dee, bum bum, pum 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 padam. Ladies and gentlemen, I indeed do. Yeah, they know the I sing calypso too. Corona thing real serious, but together we beating the virus. I want you to stay at home and breathe so that we can have crop over, please. And whenever we get down to Kensington, strong and win the crown. Da-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Please stay safe, stay at home, and let us fight the coronavirus. Thank you. Pam 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 padam.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional happenings in Guyana, the full court discharged the injunctions granted by High Court Judge Franklin Holder on March 17, in which he stopped the Guyana Elections Commission from carrying out a national recount of votes cast at the March 2 general and regional elections. In a unanimous decision, the full court ruled that Justice Holder made an error in determining that he can hear the case filed by APNU and AFC candidate Ulita Moore. Meanwhile, the Alliance for Change says it wants shared governance ahead of the declaration of elections results. More in this report from Newsroom Guyana.
While maintaining that the coalition won the March 2nd general and regional elections, the Alliance for Change is calling for a government of national unity. The AFC in a statement on Monday night said it is imperative that the party that is legally empowered to form the next government accede to an agreed governance arrangement that involves shared governance, national unity, and constitutional reform. The party believes that a national unity government is the best way to avoid post-elections violence and get rid of ethnic divisions. It called on national leaders to immediately commence talks in good faith to achieve those objectives of unity, healing, and reconciliation. The party noted that its leaders have been authorized to actively participate in this exercise. In light of the current tense political environment, the AFC believes that regardless of the final declaration of GCOM and the rulings of the courts to come, it is incumbent on our national leaders on both sides of the political divide to take bold and decisive action in the interest of achieving national unity, healing, and reconciliation, the party said. The AFC is led by Raphael Trotman as its chairman and Kemraj Ramjatan, the APNU-AFC prime ministerial candidate, as its leader. The smaller fraction of the APNU-AFC coalition made recommendations for the proposed talks to include arrangements for a government of national unity for a mutually agreed defined period, a census and national registration exercise to be undertaken and completed within the life of the national unity government, constitutional reform to be pursued and completed within the life of the national unity government, which must include a reform of our electoral system.
Further afield, President Donald Trump today warned of a painful and tough 2 weeks stretch ahead as he extended nationwide distancing measures that, even if followed closely, could still mean that more than 100,000 and up to 240,000 Americans die from the coronavirus. It was a stark message from a president who spent weeks downplaying the severity of the virus and questioned its potential impact in the United States.
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead. We're going to go through a very tough 2 weeks. And then hopefully, as the experts are predicting, as I think a lot of us are predicting after having studied it so hard, you're going to start seeing some real light at the end of the tunnel. But this is going to be a very painful, very, very painful 2 weeks. When you look and see at night the kind of death that's been caused by this invisible enemy, it's incredible. I was watching last night Governor Murphy of New Jersey say 29 people died today, meaning yesterday, and others talking about numbers far greater. But you get to know a state. I know New Jersey so well, and you hear 29 people, and hundreds in other locations, hundreds in other states. And this is going to be a rough 2-week period.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.